But now the thing is we need to come together, and it's happening. This is going to be history one day. One day they're going to say, how did the Lakotas and rainbows get together? They're going to say, in the sacred Black Hills in 2015. This is going to be history. In the future, it's going to be the rainbows and the Lakotas and all the other nations are going to come together. And one day we're going to be one.
From their discussion.
Our whole philosophy is based on inclusion and love and non-aggressive self-expression.
That's the philosophy of the Rainbow family, and up to 20,000 of them are set to come to the Black Hills for the 44th annual Rainbow Gathering.
The Rainbow Gathering is establishing a precedent of being able to peaceably assemble on public land, because it's something that's public land is something that's very quickly vanishing in America.
But members of the United Urban Warrior Society fear they will disrespect Lakota ways and the land they're gathering on.
This is our heart of our culture, you know, and they have their little hippie thing, and you know, to us it's a desecration of our church.
That's why they met today at the Hill City Visitors Information Center to hear out both sides.
Our purpose is to cooperate and work with the locals. We're many of us all fighting the same struggle.
The United Urban Warrior Society says there have been reports of rape and vandalism during rainbow gatherings, but the family says it's not true.
It's a long process. There's usually trash in the woods when we show up, and when we leave, the place is immaculate.
They do claim that they pick up their trash and leave the land better, but why put the land through that?
Just go away. Go away. Our mind was made up 3 months ago. That's our mother. That's where we come from. We don't go up there and jump around and hoot and holler and run around bare ass naked and smoke dope. And pot is a big thing around here. We do not want it in our hills. We don't want you there.
Well, I guess I would say kind of the spring council process almost started 2 days before spring council with the tribal meeting. About 20, 30 people, maybe a little bit more than that. I guess Rainbow people went out to Info Center in Hill City, where there was just going to be a small tribal meeting that was going to take place between really about 5 or 6 family and tribal leaders. But probably 30 or so families showed up. There was also a fellow named James Swan who showed up, and that was the first confrontation that really started with any natives. The first negative words that we really heard at all.
When Spring Council was announced, a man named James Riley Swan started yelling and screaming and trying to rally up support for boycott of the gathering and to evict the gathering because it was a desecration of the sacred lands. He used that story of the rainbows promising never to come as ammunition, even though he knew nothing about it. He repeated it, and he talked about scalping people. He said, "What's the going price on a hippie scalp?"
Been crazy. It was really sad to see that a couple people could sway so many people. I'm sure it's heartening for those people to know that they have that kind of power. Then, you know, some Native Americans started to come out. We had a nice guy come out, and then we had that Chanupa guy come out. And that guy was like, I feel like I can impartially say it, like he was like blatantly racist. And that was a bummer for me personally, because I felt like we had our first opportunity to speak with someone who actually had words that mattered. Because it seems like on our side, like anyone can come who looks native enough and be like, oh, I speak for Hooly Booly, what and such, and like, I can't verify any of that. I'm just taking everybody else's word. You know, I'm not looking at IDs. And he expressed like a lot of hate, and that was extremely disheartening. And then that whole day of council ended with like him storming off and everybody yelling at everybody else, and people being really worried about like Native American reprisals in the form of violence.
Chanupa, you're talking about?
Chanupa, yeah, Chanupa. He said that if we did not leave the Black Hills, we would be greenlit. He said that there were some folks that were waiting just outside of town, and that more or less it was threat of violence. He pretty much threatened that they would come and beat us up or something like that if we didn't get out of there. And served us with this weird paper thing that said that they'd break down encampments and silly things like this if we didn't leave. On letterhead that only he and the person he was with had signed, which was really, really weird and strange. So there was a big fight. I asked him to leave the circle because he got in the face of another brother, Lakota brother, Northern Cheyenne brother, who was there at the council and was looking to threaten violence on that brother too. I asked him to leave the circle, which probably wasn't right. And we had a big thing, probably heart song for the most part for the rest of that day.
A brother that we would soon get to know a lot better. He called himself Chanupa, English name Dwayne Martin.
James Swan and Dwayne Martin really started all of this in the beginning with the internet controversy. Blatantly misrepresented their position within the tribe. During Spring Council, Dwayne Martin came up to me, and when I challenged him over the validity of his claims that an actual chief had come forward and supported him, his only reply was to storm off. He got in my face and then stormed off. The chief that he had vague support from, when he found out the truth that was going on, he pulled and went against Dwayne Martin.
Encouraging. I mean, the strongest thing that I took out of that day is Payu, when he got the feather, and he had been listening to a lot of people lament around the circle. Oh, I don't know if we should be here. This doesn't feel too great. And then Payu takes the feather and he stands up and he says, I don't know what you're gonna do here, but I, for one, I'm standing here. If I'm camping out in the Black Hills by myself, so be it, but I'm gonna be here. Here's a brother who's Northern Cheyenne. He's never done anything rainbow. He's a computer programmer. I mean, he's an amazing dude. He built the Bitcoin-like currency of the Lakota, Mazacoin, and he's great for the self-sufficiency of the people. He really believes in that, and he barely knows us. Second day of ever really meeting us, and he says, all you people, I've seen so much great stuff from you that I'm gonna stay right here and I'm standing with you. And that was, God, that made me cry.
Well, the Oglala Sioux tribal president, John Steele's office, had already made a statement months ago that the gathering was okay pending certain conditions, which happily were met. Those being cleanup, no sacred rituals, and respect. We have a thing in Lakota called Lakota, which is we greet all of our guests and visitors to our lands in a good way with a good heart. So this is just Lakota playing out. Doesn't get much more traditional than this.
There were a lot of ugly rumors that went around, rumors that the people that scouted here had nefarious, manipulative agendas, rumors about almost anyone that spoke in favor of the gathering in South Dakota online. Almost everyone that showed their face got slandered with not just like rainbow rumors that could have been exaggerated, but out and out outrageous falsities. I got called a Blackwater operative. One of the people that scouted got called a pedophile. A lot of really ugly false words were said. And a lot of those Facebook accounts were all from brand new created accounts with no personal identifying information that had been created just for the purpose of riling up trouble on Facebook. The Facebook scene just got really, really ugly, really, really fast, and it deteriorated throughout Seed Camp. And
well, each time I think about these little internet jabs, I just, it hurts. The people on the land are the ones that are working with what's there, and other than that, it's mostly harmful. I mean, internet is not informative. It's persuasive of emotions, maybe, but it has no sense of. I don't see any of it as being helpful to what the gathering is on the land. It was much easier when we just called our 5 friends who called their 5 friends who called their 5 friends, and we all showed up.
And it was really funny because at the same time we've had opposition from Strong Heart Warrior Society and United Urban Warrior Society, and but one thing I know about them is that they're not even accepted into the Lakota homelands, but they have media and have a voice, and the only voice is that's heard. So other people's voices aren't heard, and there have been a lot of people who are really supportive of the Rainbow Gathering. Elders such as Alex Whiteplume and Deborah Whiteplume, they recalled when I was speaking with them, they remember when Rainbow helped us, Indigenous people, even on Bear Butte. We've fought for the same rights, side by side, and not the same rights, but we've collectively helped each other on each other's fights for our rights. And so there has been a long relationship with the Rainbow Gathering since the 70s.
Okay, I guess before I came here, I'd been following the scout process pretty closely, and I knew that the scouts had been making attempts to contact local representatives of the Lakota, and I wasn't paying as much attention to the drama on the other forums that had nothing to do with people that were on the ground here. So that's why I wanted to be at Spring Council and find out what actually was up. And I came to Spring Council and found out the real things, because Rainbow Process has nothing to do with the internet. So if you want to show up and be part of... Okay, one of my friends said, general consensus is we shouldn't be in South Dakota. Actually, there is perfect consensus at Spring Council that we should be in South Dakota. If you'd like to be part of the consensus process, show up at Vision Council, show up at Spring Council, show up at Thanksgiving Council.
And the second one we made after frequent trips into town, realizing that Facebook liaison was now a Rainbow job, because there had to be all this rumor control, because they were saying the most terrible, crazy, untrue things about what was happening at Spring Council. And so our next consensus was basically a consensus that pretty much everything on Facebook is a lie, and the only people that you should listen to about what's going on at Spring Council are the people that are at Spring Council. And a few people volunteered their contact information so that people could call them for rumor control. So that was our second consensus. Don't trust the Fed book.
The 3 days of council were amazing. I've never seen a council like that. Never seen a gathering like this either. In the 30-some years I've been coming, the focus was as good as it could ever get. I don't see it ever being better than it was.
So whenever I got on the Facebook page, I was, I would get on there and creep every day to see where they decided to have the gathering, and every day I got on there was just more and more negative propaganda about how nobody wanted us here and how all the natives didn't like us. They were completely against having the gathering, and there were threats of violence and all different kinds of just lies being spread around, misinformation. And then when I got here, there was virtually no police. The police that were here were really cool, I haven't had any bad encounters with any of them. And all the natives and all the rainbow family are just getting along. I talked to one of the grandmothers the other night, and she told me how this is the time for the rainbow family and for the Lakota to come together and to be one big family. And we all want the same thing. We're all ridiculed by the government. We're stereotyped. We're frowned upon in regular society, and then you get here and it's just a bunch of people loving each other and praying for peace and getting along and sharing and being human. So
we just came to see if you were all doing our sun dances, our sweat lodges, a lot of our ceremonial things. We just came to see if you were all doing it, and we came to stop you. So I don't know what day we came up here. It was spring council, and yeah, we liked it. We didn't see anything wrong. We didn't see any completely wrong things. There was some bad stuff, but not so bad to make us want to stop it.
What kind of bad stuff?
Some nudity, some people taking drugs, weed. Everyone says weed is bad, but I don't think so either. So that's why I was okay with all of that. And
all the controversy coming up, or hearing about the controversy coming up from the Lakota people on this land, and instantly was like, well, if they don't want us to be here, it's that's all right, I won't be there. But upon looking into things just a little bit deeper, you saw that it was just one person who was really stirring the pot, and other people were jumping on the bandwagon, and it wasn't actually a unified force of the Lakota people saying please don't. It is more, well, please respect and come in love. And everything that I've seen here so far has been absolutely amazing. And people have been open, they've been loving, they've been sharing, they've been caring, and they've been giving.
Friends of mine, and I heard that they were going to come here to the Spring Council, and I trusted them that they would be able to give me good ideas of what I should do. And when I heard there was much controversy, I stopped and I looked at the controversy, and then I got in touch with my friends on the land, and I trust my friends on the land with my life. I scout spots in the woods and tell them to come, and they scout spots in the woods and tell me to come. We just do that regardless of any other rumors. So I came to make sure my friends were okay, and also because I trust them. And when I arrived, I found that all the controversy that I had heard was just a bunch of balderdash. It was just wild things on the internet, and what was going on the land was a growth of harmony and families coming together in ways that Rainbow has always been to me.
Everybody agrees that love is the answer here, and that I'm home, obviously. So I'm really glad that I didn't listen to the probably sabotage Facebook nonsense, because this is going to change my life.
I think it's like our prophecies coming true. We're told the children of the white man will come asking us for help. I don't know exactly what help, but ask us how to live, how to live on, to keep living for survival. We're told, that's what we're told.
But I was talking more with people on the ground that I knew and trusted from other gatherings. Also, I started seeing some Native voices who are local saying, hey, these people here, they don't speak for us. We believe in welcoming strangers that come in peace. And that really meant a lot to me, because I did totally want to respect the people on the land, especially when people start talking about the grandmothers and what they wanted. I'm like, oh, I do not want to offend grandmothers. I have much respect for grandmothers. And but it seemed like all the hate and fear was saying, go to Michigan. And then we started hearing love and welcoming here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going where the love is. Like that actually made it easier. The more people were hateful and fear-mongering to go to Michigan, you have to go to Michigan or else you're not a real rainbow, or else you're gonna die, I'm like, oh, no, I think I'm gonna go over here, away from you guys. So kind of reverse psychology on me, I guess. And then I got here, and I still didn't know what to believe. And then I started meeting people. I met the grandmothers, like Arlette and Helen, and I was just so touched by the stories and so grateful for the welcoming, how wonderful and welcome they've been. And
I met the Rainbow people family. I met my family back in 1986 when on the reservation I became an alcoholic. And I wasn't raised that way. I come from a traditional family, so I didn't want my people to see me drinking on the streets around here, so I took off to San Francisco. Well, I didn't go to San Francisco. I just ended up there. And then the first ones I met were the Deadheads, Jerry Garcia. And then I met the Rainbow people. And then the way the Rainbow people lived, I connected with them right away because that's the way I grew up on this land. And today they're still living like this, the way we should be living too on the reservation. So I've been, since I came back and I sobered up and in 1990, and I went back to working with my people, ceremonies, doing ceremonies, working with AA, working with the Aztecs. I'm working with the natives from South America and how they're so close to their land, still the land. And so I come back home and I was telling my people about Rainbow family. I found a family. They're good people. They still have that love and that caring, spirituality. That's what we had at one time. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the people. Let's go back to living off the land. Let's go back to being independent. They are doing it. We can go back and live the same way. And we can all be one because we can learn from each other. What we lost here, the family still has over here. So let's bring it together. Let's be one family. Let's work together to be self-sufficient, where we can help each other in that way. And just be one big family, a loving family. I want that love and that caring to come back to my people. I want these young kids to have that. What we used to have and lost, I want the kids today to have that back. And the only way today I look at it is we gotta get help. And me, I'm like, the Rainbow people, that's my family, they're good family. And this was my dream. This was my dream for a long time, since the 90s into 2000, that I wanted my people to meet the Rainbow family. Meet them just one time. And then me coming back here 5 years ago, here I am saying, it's never gonna happen, this is my dream. Oh, Rainbow's never gonna come to South Dakota because of the Republicans and the way everything is, divide and conquer. They're never gonna come here. And I felt bad, but I pray and pray anyway. And here I am sitting out in the country, no TV, nothing. I went down into the village. I'm always down there, and one day somebody said, the gathering, the Rainbow gathering. I said, where? And they said, in the Black Hills. You know what? So those are the sacred hills. And for them to come to the sacred hills, I said, let my people see. Let them know what they're missing. Bring them here to Joshua. Bring them here so that we can be one. Be one big family to help each other in the survival and the struggles that we're going through today. There's a lot of struggles, and them struggles ain't gonna go away. They're always gonna be there. And we need a family that's loving and caring, that these people, these younger generations can come to and find their way in life. That's what the family's about. That's what my people are about. But now the thing is, we need to come together, and it's happening. This is gonna be history one day. One day they're gonna say, how did the Lakotas and Rainbows get together? They're gonna say, in the sacred Black Hills in 2015. This is going to be history. In the future, it's going to be the rainbows and the Lakotas and all the other nations are going to come together. And one day we're going to be one. And one day our kids will always have a home to come into. And yeah, people complain about these youngsters. We were young at one time. I did. I became an alcoholic in the Lakota way. In the rainbow, when I first found the family, I was in A camp too. But today I'm in a circle praying. I worked my way to the circle. And it wasn't hard. But it's for the people. It's for the next generation, next generation. And we want to be self-sufficient. We have everything here. They say the Lakotas are the poorest people in the United States. We're not poor. We have it all right here. And everything we need is right here within us and this earth, this Mother Earth. Once we connect, this is our way of life. Not food stamps, not hand-me-downs. No, we can be self-sufficient. We were before. Why can we bring it back today with the generation? That's where my people need help. And that's where I got my other family to help. This is my family too. Rainbow's been my family. They're the ones that found me on the streets, lost. If it wasn't for Rainbow and Jerry Garcia dying and changing my life, I would have died out there a long time ago. I would have died a drunk Indian, just like what the government wanted me to do, die a drunk Indian. But I overcame that, and I told the government,
It's so much different than
no,
I feel like.
you ain't going to do that to my children, my grandchildren. So today I like this. I want world peace. I want all colors to stand up in this and be one family. That was my grandpa's prediction, and I'm going to make sure it happens. Because I know my grandpa's walking for the Lord, and I know he likes what's going on here. He loves people like you guys. He loves people that can take care of their families on their own, self-sufficient. And that's what this camp is about right now. Many people should come and join us today. Come and see what we're doing. I bet you're going to walk out of here with love in your heart. You will come back and you will join us. Because you ain't going to find that out there no more. You're only going to find it in your families. So all the grandkids out there, come to the rainbow gatherings and find out what this family is about. Because that's where grandma comes from, that family too. So today I rejoice because my dream came true. Here I am with both of my families here to celebrate and have a good time and grow from it. Leave us. We're going to learn from you. And when you guys leave, you guys are going to take something good, and we're going to take something good too. And then from there, we're going to work together to make it better.
It was June 23rd.